What's going on there, fellow YouTubers? It's Chris from the Msss Anomaly channel. Alright guys, I'm going back to a video I did about a year ago, perhaps a little over a year ago. And this was, according to NASA, was part of Gale Crater, or as we know it now, the mountain inside Gale Crater, Mount Sharp. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's the picture here, and a lot of you guys have been following along, had seen this particular photo, because I did this again about a year ago, and I'll show you that right here. Large city on Mars, inside Gale Crater, with a question mark. Now, you can see I got 32 thumbs down on it, and that's fine, because here's the thing. I respect everybody's opinions, you know, whether they believe that or not. Most of the negative comments were saying, no, I believe it's only 50 meters. It's not what you think, you know, that it's larger than that. I don't believe that's the case at all, whatever. Now, if you guys want to, check this video out first, and then go on to this one here, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. But let's just read this, because this is cool. And here's the thing, you don't get to see many captions at all, as you can see. It's like, you look at any picture today, you don't see any captions. So anyway, original caption released with the image, one type of feature of scientific interest on the mountain inside Gale Crater, and of course, it's Mount Sharp, is exposure of cemented fractures, evidence that groundwater once reached to at least the height of the mountain. Now, I'm a little confused about that, because they claim that enough water was inside this crater, was able to leave sediment as tall as, well, we all know the mountain is 3.4 miles high. And, of course, it's much wider. Okay. How is it possible the water can make it up that high when the crater wall of Gale Crater is not even that tall? It's not even as tall as the mountain. So how is that possible? These are a little question in your mind. This image of that part of the mountain taken by the HiRISE, or as known as High Resolution Imaging Science Experiment camera, on NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, also known as the MRO, shows symmetry in how material on one side of each fracture is balanced by material on the other side. Must be pretty intelligent water here, guys. That's all I can tell you. This pattern indicates that mineral-saturated groundwater once filled the fractures. The water deposited minerals on both sides of the opening, eventually filling the gap. This observation increases the appeal of Gale Crater, which has been selected as the landing site of NASA's Mars Science Laboratory mission, which is the MSL, also known as Curiosity rover. Okay, now take note of when this was posted. Image edition date, was 2011. That's right, folks, before the MSL or the Curiosity rover even set wheels on Mars. Keep that in mind. Now, based on what we've been seeing in these photos of Mount Sharp and Gale Crater at the base of Mount Sharp, I'm going to say, and I'm still sticking to my guns on this, that this is a city. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. They claim it's 50 meters. This whole picture is like 50 meters. Okay. If it's 50 meters, that means it's 164 feet? That's it? Okay. Which also, if you think about it, kind of coincides with what we've been talking about, how it says, we read to you guys, we looked it over as far as the specs of these cameras. This MSL, oh, I'm sorry, the HiRISE, I'm thinking of MSL now, the HiRISE camera on board the MRO can see objects that are 3 to 4 feet in diameter. So it makes you wonder, if they're seeing this fracturing, as they call it, why not take a closer look? Or have they, but they're just not showing us the photo? If it's capable of going in and zooming that far, why would they do it 50 meters away? Why not do it a whole lot less? Why not do it 3 meters? I mean, it's 10 feet. I mean, why not? That's why you got a flag. It's just red flags everywhere you look here, guys. But what I did was, I want to show you this up close, just in a regular viewer. Here's the photo itself. This time what I did was I took the photo, and I turned it around counterclockwise at about 90 degrees, somewhere roughly. And the reason why I did this, because, well, several reasons. Within a year, around a year, roughly a year, we've been doing more and more investigations and how they're doing the manipulations, obfuscations, so on and so forth. My idea is, I think, and I think they're using this aspect ratio too to mess with your perspective of a photo. I'm still standing by that. I believe that's the case. Think about it. Oh, the MRO, all it's got to do is just the MRO. Well, it could be either one, the Curiosity rover or the MRO with the HiRISE camera on it. They can simply upload a photo, change the aspect ratio, and whatever is larger looks now suddenly smaller, and you would be none the wiser. Think about it. Let's say you see an object on there, let's say a regular pyramid. Let's throw a pyramid from Giza on Mars, just for an example. If you were to take that photo, crystal clear, Now you want to manipulate it, obscure it, and do your magic to it. Mess around with the photos so you can blotch out certain areas. Now, compress it. Make it look even smaller. What happens? Well, now, if you've seen, like, let's say there was, I don't know, 6 tiny circles in a row, and they were approximately 6 feet apart. Well, what would happen if you compress them? Well, they just look like a tiny bunch of little tiny dots next to each other, unless you opened it up. Now, suddenly you can see a lot more detail. I'm not saying that doing this with all of the photos, folks. I'm just saying that I believe that's a big, probability. And I'm going to show you this right now because I just think it's pretty cool. Again, here it is. You guys can download it. You can get the TIFF, which is the better one. You can see it's 1.700, 1.7 megs. Always go for that if you can. They're a lot bigger and supposedly better. Not always the case, but usually it is the case. So anyway, I jumped on here and I'm looking. So now I changed it again, 90 degrees, roughly around 90 degrees. And what I did was right off the bat, I'm going to show you the widened aspect of this photo. And then I'm going to go back. Once it's enhanced, I'm going to show you the actual back to this photo. In other words, still the same photo, but the aspect ratio back down to what they show. And then you guys can give me your take on it. I'm going to show you what I think it is, because I believe these are roads. I believe they're cities. And I still stick by that. If not, this is some real crafty water. It can literally go, come on, guys, look at this. Look at it right off the bat. Completely, almost straight, perfect, all the way down. Almost straight. Got a little deviation, but it's still pretty darn straight. These could be hills, and this is the reason why it's not straight. There's so much to it. It's just insane. So let's back out a little bit. Now I'm going to jump into the wider photo of this. And I'm going to show you as I go step by step that when you jump in here. Now, don't get me wrong. You're not going to see anything super clear. Now, don't go by this one because I got many steps, as you can see here on the right-hand side, to try to enhance each of these things. You're going to see what looks like, between, where is it? Right here. Is right here. You can see where there's something white right here, and you can see how it's layered. Let me see if I can move it a little bit more without going too... Now, right now, it's a little pixelated and everything else, but just bear with me here. It's right there, right there, right there, and then there's just another little white spot right here. And I always tell people, look into the whiter areas because you're going to find some crazy stuff. Well, believe it or not, these white things actually go into this gray area. It literally goes into this gray area. So it doesn't stop there. All right, let's jump into these photos. Now, try to blur it up slightly. You don't want to go too crazy because then you combine multiple things into one. But because these photos are so, well, they break them down into trash resolution as far as I'm concerned. If the MRO is perfectly capable of 720 up to 1080p, if not more, I think it's capable of more than that. High-resolution video and photos, then why the trashy-looking photos? There's just simply no reason for it. They just give us this low-res garbage. But anyway, you'll see, like, if you look right here, like, just little examples like right here. In fact, let's do this. You'll see something right here that's square, and it has what looks like a round circle, and another circle inside it. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Now, these look pretty darn uniform for just simple water flowing over the surface or something, guys. At least that's just in my opinion. That's pretty intelligent water here. Okay, let's bring it down a little bit, because what we want to do is you want to bring down the actual bright, real high contrasted areas, and you want to try to bring up the darker areas if you can. Now, again, you've got this piece here, and I think these are something bigger. This is actually standing up right here, and it's not as low as everybody would think. It seems to be a little bit more... It's got more height than most of these things. Now, let's just move on. I'm going to throw some filters in here, help you try to see these a little bit better. But check these out. 1, 2, 3, 4. You got a bunch of little tiny pieces, a little larger, smaller. And guess what? There's nothing in the middle of these things. I think these are roads. I absolutely believe these are streets of roads of some sort. And like I said, they say, oh, it's just water in there, and it just happens to divide it just perfect on each side. That's intelligent water, like I said, man. That's pretty darn good shit. All right, so now you can still see this piece right here. It goes down into the darker areas. Now, how is that possible unless this stuff is being obscured? And now you're starting to see this piece coming over here. It actually goes through this darker area, as I said. In fact, I'm going to go back to here. See how, like, it's all completely crap right here. It's all dark. And you can see these pieces running into this gray area. You can see the lines. You got to pay attention to lines. I always tell people that. Pay attention to lines because a lot of the lines, let's say they take an object and they block half it off with dark, half it off with white. Well, you're just going by, you're seeing only half of this particular item, so you don't think nothing of it. Oh, just lines, it's no big deal. But you'll see in many cases when they blotch stuff out, they literally have lines running. The whole line of said object is going into these darker areas. And in the brighter ones, depending on how you look at it. Okay, so bring it up a little bit. Now, I try to blast through this stuff with the white to try, and you can see the lines still going through this right here. And you can see this now a little bit better, going like this. You just got to pay attention to these lines themselves. Something here is, like I said, this is a lot bigger. This whole piece right here, this whole, I don't know what that is, but there's something really large sitting right there. Okay. Now, again, look at all of these little pieces. Now, keep in mind, because of the low resolution and the crap photo, or to me it's crap, one of these objects, like right here, could be any one of these, could be 5 to 10 objects sitting right there. We don't know. Just like I did last time, a long time ago, I did it with the city of Manhattan. I simply blurred things up in that photo, and guess what happened? A city block turned into like one big block or round piece. Or instead of being like 10, 15 items, it turned out to be like 3 or 4 larger items. So we don't know. There's simply no way of knowing that. So now I'm docking it up here to try to see these things. Now check this out. This is what's crazy. This piece right here, it shows what looks like a round piece, perfectly round right here. And it's going off in different directions. And then it has other structure around it. I strongly believe, to be honest with you guys, I think this stuff right here, this is all crap. This is stuff they've added in here to make it look like there's deeper sections of this area, making it look like that fracturing, as they call it. I don't think that's the case at all, guys. I really don't. Let's have a look over here. Again, looks like roads, completely straight. Again, check this out. And you're going to see this white, goes like this, goes back down, goes like this, and then suddenly goes into like what looks like either, like I said, these are larger. You can see something's actually under this. It's gray, but that the rest of it here is white. So there's an object sitting right here. Now, I don't know if it's been buried halfway, because maybe this structures are non-inhabited anymore, and it's simply just laying there now. I don't know. It's pure speculation and conjecture, guys. You guys know that. But this is... I make my photo, or the videos rather, I make the videos to make it to be thought-provoking, to give it some thought. Hey, is it possible this is true? Is it not? And let you guys think about it and give me your take. And like I said, I mean, when you look at this right here, you can see what looks like these pieces. It looks like a round dome type thing. See right there? It looks like this little... It's like a dome or some crap on it. I don't know what that is. But anyway, you can look at these photos, guys, and just see. Look at this. I mean, there's tons of these, whatever the hell they are. They're all, and you can see like different pieces like doing this. I just find it hard to believe that this is just 164 feet of this area. And check that out. It's vast. I mean, I'm going to guess if I had to throw a number, I'd say it's 2 to 3 miles from here to about the end of this, from here to here. And that's only a guess, of course, because there's no way of knowing the size of these things at all. I don't care what anybody says. You can take a guess, an educated guess, sure. But just look at the way these things right here, like in this area right here. Look at the way those things are just... I'm going to go ahead and move it over. Bring it up to the middle of the screen. And let's see if we can zoom in just a hair bit more. They're too uniform. They're too intelligently look like it's been put there. These do not look like just simple... anything. Residual from water washing over a pot of a ground. And again, keep in mind, they said, and if I'm not mistaken, guys, you guys can tell me, because I know a lot of you guys looked into this particular photo yourselves. It seemed to me this is right on top of Mount Sharp. And if that's true, they were supposed to be running along parallel with the base of Mount Sharp. They're supposed to be hitting a certain flag and taking a left turn right up Mount Sharp. And I think this is their destination. And judging by what we've been seeing, whether it be, things that we've been seeing on Mount Sharp, on the side of it, at the base of it, I would say this is a city. And now, is it a possibility I'm wrong? Of course. I mean, Christ. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, because we just don't know. But judging by what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to show you guys the normal aspect in a second, because this is more like looking down and then looking at it at an angled view, where the other way is looking down at it. When I look at these things, I see what I see as a bunch of little structures. And of course, you guys may have different opinions about that, and that's fine too. Tell me what you think. Now, let me show you. This is pretty cool. Let me show you now the regular aspect. The only difference is it's enhanced and counterclockwise at, about 90 degrees I've taken off. Oh, well, at least, turned it. Now, check this stuff out now. This looks like a sprawling city to me. And I don't mean alive, but it is definitely a large city. And it appears to be all over the place. And how convenient they say, well, there's objects on this side and it's balanced by this side. Well, guess what? That water cannot be that smart. I'm going to go ahead and clear it up a little bit, well, at least somewhat, throw some sharpening into it. And to me, this looks like structures everywhere you look. But like I said, take a photo, rotate it, put a scale on it saying it's only 50 meters, and wham, what do you think? Nothing else. You think, oh, absolutely, it's only 164 feet in diameter. I don't believe that. And like I said, because it's in Mount Sharp, or at the mountain, or at least I think it's on the top of the mountain, if I've read correctly before. Again, look at these things. Something in the middle and a smaller black dot right there. What does that conveniently? It just happens to be just like that. See it? A little dot there, a white dot in the middle, round circle, and then you've got this, what looks like a structure right there. See it? Right there. So, I mean, when you look at most of these things and the way they're off to the sides and everything's just perfectly almost straight, to me, these remind me of roads. They don't remind me, these are like main roads running up through a city. And look how perfect that is. If that's water that did that, that's intelligent freaking water, I'll tell you that. Now, I'm not saying water's not capable of cutting through rock and everything. Of course it can. But to be almost perfect, now these could be you can see again how they kind of deviate, but that doesn't mean this is not hill. Like a difference in elevation. Therefore, you see that kind of deviation. So we don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I mean, give me your take on it. Let me know. I'm looking at all over here, and I'm just saying, whoa. I mean, take any part of this and just have a look at it. It looks like we're looking down at a city. Now, whether the city's alive, I don't believe it is. I believe there's nothing alive on Mars unless they're underground. Or they are, and they're just, I don't know why they wouldn't be doing anything to the Curiosity rover. I would be like blowing it right off the wheels off it, you know what I mean? But maybe just, people have speculated, well, maybe we made an agreement with them. We can just snoop around, have a look, but then, then just don't mess with anything else. I don't know why that would be. I mean, heck, you had something like that from another planet land here, yeah, we definitely snatch it or blow it off the ground, one of the two, or out of the sky, depending on what it is. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, give me your take. Let me know. And like I said, this is the original. And of course, if it's rotated, counterclockwise to the way they show it here, you go, yeah, I'm really not seeing it. It looks like about 50 meters. Yeah. Once you analyze this photo, it just becomes more and more evident that may not be the case. I don't believe it is. And like I said, after you get into this photo and really break it down, I'm seeing much more. I'm seeing a whole lot more in this photo. But like I said, guys, give me your take on it. And just, leave a comment down below. Share the video. Give me a, vote on it. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think. Is it nothing more than just, like they say, it's like a sediment rolling off? Look at this whole area. Look at this. This whole area and this, like I said, look at these in particular. All of these things down here. It looks too intelligently put together. Look at these things. All in here. Way too intelligent to be simple, just sediment being washed over ground and fractures and so on and so forth. But yeah, give me your take. As always, you guys get the final word, and let me know what you guys think about it, because I think it's just incredible, and I think this is what they're working up towards. I think this is what they've been after a long time ago. And I don't think they've seen this many years ago. Again, you've seen the article right there. And this observation increases the appeal of Gale Crater, which has been selected as landing site for NASA's MSL. So there you go. I mean, and this was before the rover even landed there. So They again, people have speculated. Well, is it possible that they knew these things were there? Absolutely. Come on, they eyeballed everything on here and said, "Whoa, we need to drop these rovers right here in these spots." Again, they're not going to spend billions of dollars just to go, and just send it down there with a simple Polaroid, trashy photo. Just have it beep bop along the ground, take pictures of rocks, and that's nothing more. There has to be something else that really blows these people's hairs back, and every country wants a piece of this now. What's that tell you? If it's nothing more than just rock, and just leave it to one space agency to find these microbes, if anything. And again, we all know how we all feel about this. I don't think that's the case at all. But anyway, again, give me your take. Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys. I also have I've been working on this Apollo missions as well as just moon photos. They just released on Flickr, the Flickr page or homepage. They've got like 8,142 photos of the moon. Now, keep in mind, people said, stated that it was going to be unmanipulated, unmolested pictures. They're not. They're not. But I've already done about, 4 or 5 of these photos, and what I'm going to do is do a little montage if we can, or just have we'll talk about them and stuff like that. If I get a meeting together or some kind of, get one of the guys and some of the guys together, we can analyze these photos. But you're going to see some similarities, too, with other planets as well as our moon. So, I'm in the process of getting this thing all put together, so bear with me on that. I've also got other photos coming up, so stay tuned for that as well. All right, guys, don't want to waste any more of your time. Appreciate you watching. Again, throw me a thumbs up. Always appreciated. Share the video, and throw a comment down below, as always. Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video.